Economics and politics are the foundation of human development.
While forming the world's earliest civilizations, Africans also laid the groundwork for the creation of economic systems.
By learning from our history, we gain the strength to empower the present and design the future. Presenting the premier forum for truth, culture, and change. HAPI Talks. Join us as we unlock the secrets to our success.
Peace.
Peace, fam.
What's going on, Felicia? How are you?
I'm good. I'm so good right now.
Yeah. Okay. This one is a little new for me because I'm not familiar with the gentleman. So, but I'm interested definitely in, what his position is as far as self-defense is concerned. Because actually me and my cousin was just talking about self-defense. He was saying we should join some kind of martial arts or some kind of combat. He just said it the other day. So, I'm interested to see, what his perspective is as far as, helping out the collective, because I think we're going to need it down the line at some point.
Absolutely.
Whether it's individually or collectively, we're going to need it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is going to be, well, first, let me let you do your thing, and then we're going to talk. We're going to talk about Teanis. Go ahead. Oh, okay. So family, let me just say this. This little internet is really acting crazy on all of us today. Brother Hassan is going to come back in and come back out, but I can 100% get us started. So family, make sure that number one, that you are liking, sharing, and commenting on this post. Okay. It's cool when you guys are like looking at it because we can see all the views, like our views be high, but then we look at like how many people are actually liking it, and then how many people are actually sending us a comment. That's really super important if we're going to push push forward in terms of, creating an institute. Okay. Because we are in the institution building phase. You saw our first in studio, beautiful collaboration with Professor James Small. And we are going to, we have other ones we've interviewed quite a few people. So you'll be seeing a lot of, different people coming up on the screen in our in-studio session, but those things cost actually extra money. And so, family, if you can, this is going to lead me to a couple of things. So if you can, please hit us up on the Cash app. Okay. And send us some HAPI love. All right. We got that from my brother, King Simon. So you want to make sure that you, hit us up on the Cash app, little HAPI love. And here I'm right there. Yeah, you're back now.
All right.
Yep. The only thing I said was, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and commenting on the video. And I told them also, if they want to send us some HAPI love right here, there you go, $ HAPI Film. Yes, you can continue.
Also, we always got to talk about that newsletter, especially now because it's a lot coming up. We got a lot of plans. We got a lot of things coming up, a lot of events coming up. We're not at liberty to talk about it right now, but nevertheless, just be advised. Don't say we didn't tell you so.
Mm-hmm.
Sign up for that HAPI newsletter. Go to hapifilm.com, click the stay connected button, and you'll be all set. Did you also told them to make sure they like and share and subscribe and all that?
Yes, because we see all the views, because anytime you click our videos, we can see that you viewed it, but we're just like, how you just view it and not click the like button?
Right there.
Yeah, or you can click the you don't like you, or you can click the you don't like it button. Just click a button and then leave a comment.
Yeah.
That helps us out tremendously.
Yeah, and also hit up the website because we got a lot of apparel, t-shirts, sweatshirts. That we're doing a clearance sale. I got mine on. You know, we're doing a clearance sale, so hit that up as well. All right. You got anything else for them, Felicia?
And last thing, please, family. A lot of people think that we just, started HAPI Talks, but HAPI Talks came from, HAPI Talks is actually part of the HAPI movement, which was here first. It was before the idea of the HAPI movement came before the HAPI documentary. And family, we have a whole documentary, 2 hours and 12 minutes long, that you can check out on Quayle TV, on Amazon Prime, and on Tubi. Okay. And it's HAPI from Crops to Stocks, has 30 of our esteemed elders, in this, and not even elders, it's just actually 30 esteemed scholars that are in this film. So family, make sure, and once you look at the film, you're like, oh, okay, this is where they're coming from. And then you'll see why HAPI Talks exists. So family, if you haven't seen HAPI, please make sure you check it out. It's beautifully shot over 6 different countries. Like I said, 30 different scholars. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And a lot of work went into it. Like, sometimes we look at these documentaries and the documentaries may be like an hour and a half, 2 hours long, but sometimes just shooting it takes like a whole year, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah. And you know what? Yeah, absolutely. And listen, shout out to the chat, because Asar Imhotep, who is actually in our film, he's in the chat. So peace to Asar Imhotep. That's what's up.
Peace, peace.
Yeah. And shout out to Doriel. Doriel traveled with us to Egypt. So yeah, we always like, I'm telling you, this is how the HAPI family runs. Yeah. It's like you come to one thing, one conference, get one DVD, you part of a family, and next thing you know, we in Africa chilling. So yes. Yes. So I think that's everything. Is that everything, Hassan?
I think so. I think we're good.
Okay, we Gucci, as a young kid say. In fact, actually, my young kids tell me to stop saying it, but
They don't say it no more. They don't say that no more.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyways, I know. I was about to say it's on Fleet, but I don't think they say that.
No, please don't say that.
Anyway,
so just embarrassed them just now.
I know. So family, so let me tell you, this is interesting. So Teanis is 100% a HAPI supporter, but it's more than that. So I was looking at some pictures of Professor Small on his page, and there's one picture he has on a blue gi, and he has some swords, in his belt. I was like, okay, all right, Professor, and and I started thinking, I was like, at 80 years old, Professor Small still works out. He still, trains his body. And there's something to be said about that. And I started thinking about my other buddy, Ifudishi Juhutimis, who also still trains. Okay. They still get around anytime you see them out doing stuff, and there's something to be said about taking care of ourselves in a real way, and for longevity. And another sister who we had a pleasure of meeting was Queen of Four. And again, she takes care of herself, but it's this self-discipline about taking care of our bodies. And so when we had the opportunity to chat with Teanis, we were like, okay, we need to have Teanis on, because Teanis does exactly this. And listen, I'm not in for all these American holidays, the New Year coming or whatever. I consider my New Year starts on my birthday. That's when my new solar year starts. But for those of you that like the incentive of starting something new, this is a good time to be thinking about starting something new, and really just deciding to have discipline about our bodies. And so we are really excited to have Teanis come on as soon as we see him pop back up on stage, because he's having some internet challenges.
Yeah, his Wi-Fi is a little sketchy as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna wait for him to pop back on, and then we're gonna have Teanis come in and join us.
We got a lot of good feedback from the in studio that we streamed.
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, yes. Yes. And you know what? You were talking about this before. We were chatting about this on the phone, Hassan, is that in this crazy world, with everything coming up, we might need to know how to, take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's the reality that we're living in now.
Yeah, for sure. You want to try to get him on now while he's there?
Yep. All right. There you go, Teanis.
Yes. How you doing, everyone? I apologize for the delay. It's
That's
just
okay. Can you turn your phone this way?
it won't.
Oh, it's not moving.
Hold on.
Oh.
Let me see if I can. Vertical.
Yeah, it's like it automatically. I don't know what button. I don't know about. You have an Android.
Sometimes it won't automatically do it if you don't have it set that way.
Yeah, where when you turn it, it just turns your face like it regular orientation. Yeah, orientates.
So I'm working on it. So yeah, but
Okay.
again, I'm sorry. Yeah, I apologize for this, but it's just something I'm just working on right now. So give me a few minutes, but I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, we could just do it like that.
Oh, he was here, but he
Was
disappeared.
here.
Okay. Look, it's just going to be one of those type of days. And you know what? Also, fam, there's all types of self-defense. It's a self-defense like for your body to be able to, but it's also like getting your mind in a self-defensive mode, right? A lot of how our lives are is based on our thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's based on, that drives everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And self-defense can also mean defending yourself from, like, let's say you're taking a medication, right? Like you're constantly taking this medication because you have some kind of like condition or whatever. What are you doing to combat the negative aspect of the medication? That's a self-defense as well, because it's, a lot of the medications, they break down your immune system. Okay, I think we're coming back now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I tried a couple of different ways. It just won't let me do it.
Okay, it's okay. All right. Well, welcome to the show, Teanis. It's good that you're here.
Yes. So I'm not sure what happened. This I just did a class this morning on. I have what's called Zoom, and so I absolutely had no problems at all. Period. None. Zip up.
Yeah. So this, a lot of people like Zoom is. I feel like Zoom's just a little bit more like established. And
Zoom is very established.
Yeah, some of the other platforms are not as established, but Zoom doesn't work very friendly with Facebook and all of what we do. And right now we're actually broadcasting on 8 different channels, including YouTube. So
okay,
yeah.
I'm just it's like
yeah. So Tina, so just first before we get started, just tell us like your background.
Okay, so basically, I was trained in law enforcement. So I was trained by 4 different police departments. I worked in the village police departments, the county sheriff's department, a city, and I was trained by what we would call the state police or the state patrol. So I spent a lot of time in law enforcement training. After that, I became an instructor, a law enforcement instructor. So I've been doing a lot of training in that area. Firearms guy. So I'm a gun guy. So I like the NRA, all that type of stuff. So, and I work in security. So it's all armed stuff and just been really heavily in that area. Most of my experiences have been working with K9, SWAT, other things, that type of stuff.
Okay. And you know what? I got a question, only because you said that you were, being, that you were trained by law enforcement. So what is your feeling about law enforcement and Black folks? Okay,
so when I did some background and study, and of course I've been doing this for a while. What people may not realize is law enforcement roots is in ancient Kemet. Okay, so once you understand the background of law enforcement from an African perspective, I had a better perspective of law enforcement in its totality. See it from an African perspective, because all the things that they do comes from us, from their uniforms to seeing what they call cherries and berries, the blue and red lights, right? All those things, all those colors come from ancient Kemet. Okay, the uniform, how they're dressed, the badges, all those things are what I call sprinkles of African history. We just don't know it because all we see is what they have on. But we may not realize is that it has a beginning. And they wear it every day. You know, I think Infodici said it best. Everyone knows who we are except for us. How true that is. How true that is.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, you know, I understand that your connection with Kemet, because even when you look at your book, so family, you know, wrote a whole book about this. You know, I'm always just like amazed when people write books about stuff, because it takes a lot to write a book. And shout out again to Astar Imhotep. He's written like 100 books as well. But I'm gonna get a picture of your of the cover up here. So so tell us a little bit about, like, how did you come up with this book? Like the idea about it.
So what I wanted to do was to write a book about reality-based stuff, right? We have a lot of history, so we can write about books of history stuff, ancient Kemet stuff, you know, all the things that people write about. My whole entire library is filled with history. But what I wanted to do was take something and actually use it. So for an example, for me personally, I love our history. I love everything about what we do. My question is, how do we use it? Okay, that was my whole thing. If we got something, now we know about it, what can we do about it? And so one of the things I learned from you, and what you said to me was, not said to me, you said it on the show, is we need to have a system outside the system. And that was really encouraging and empowering to me when you said that. And so I just, you know, took the bull by the horns and I said, you know, this is what's going to happen. And so that's kind of what came to fruition was the book. So that's kind of how that all began.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a cover.
Yeah.
That's a cover. So, all right. So we're just going to dive into this, because we really, I'm very, and you know, do you want me to keep calling you Teanis? Teanis? Because I see on your name is Sabah.
Yes, it is. So, yeah. So my teacher, my chef is Gregory Walker. You may know him. Gregory Walker wrote the Shades of Mibnon book series. And I've been on his tutelage and training for some years. So that's kind of how that all came to be. Yes.
Okay, that's what's up. All right. So let's just get into it. So what are the 7 keys to personal development?
Okay,
like,
so
overview, and then we're going to go over each one.
Okay, so the whole entire overview is taking a look, an example of what the Ankh represents. Everybody sees that, right? Okay, so the reason why you see the symbol on the front, because I was trained as an intern investigator for the State Public Defender's Office. I'm not sure if you know what the Public Defender's Office looks like. People who can't afford a lawyer, right? They get a public defender. Well, inside of that, they have what's called investigators. These investigators investigate things based on getting people off, right? When they go to court, right? So I was trained in that. So this came to fruition as a result of this investigation. And what I learned is the Ankh has a very powerful background. So you see people wearing earrings, they have a t-shirt on and all those things, right? Tattoos and stuff like that. But the Ankh is the archetype of the human psyche. It talks about the human being. And that's what the Ankh represents. It's talking about you. It's talking about us. And of course, it's in the Medu and all these things like that. But so the key itself is you. So in English, the term key in African means unk. Okay. So you have a key to get into your house. You have access to everything in your house. You have a key to the car. You have access to everything in the car. So that's exactly what the unk represents, the key to access to everything in your life.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're throwing down over here, Saba Tillmon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So that's the whole idea of the book. So I have contributors and people like that. One of the contributors is he's a college administrator from the British Columbia, Canada. He shared my book with 80 eighth graders. Okay, eighth graders who are graduating high school. He took my book there in British Canada and he shared it with them. And a U.S. Navy SEAL, Jay Swig, is also in my book. So he contributed to my book and stuff because it's all about empowering people. So he got a copy of it and he contributed to my book as well.
Okay. Okay.
Now, how did you come up with that title?
The 7 keys. The 7 keys came. I'm sorry. Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
The personal development for street survival.
Right. So in life, what people may not know is personal development is one of the most important things that we should be doing, especially with our children. In ancient Kemet, personal development was the key to growth. So personal development is like the soil that everything grows from. So when the soil is rich, everything that grows from it is rich. And that's what personal development is. Okay, so we talk about the mental development, we talk about the personal evolution. This is what happened to African children. They understood this, and so we call it personal development. But, we had other names for it, of course, in our African teachings. We had different names for it, but the concept was the same. You train them, right, and they rear them up into what they are to become. And this is what personal development does.
Absolutely. I like that. Okay. Yeah, the artwork is beautiful. Who did the artwork?
So a gentleman that I work with from Coffee Studios, we got together, of course, and we did a lot of going back and forth. And I really wanted to share my inside thought of what I thought it should look like. So we came together and Coffee Studios helped me to produce this symbol. Okay.
Nice. All right. So let's get into it. What are the 7 keys to personal development?
Okay. So the first one is about, it is the actual knowing of self, right? So give me 1 second. So I will show you exactly what it looks like when I grab my book so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So the reason why I talk about, let me just go back. So when you open up the page of the book, I'm going to show it. The reason why I brought it. The first thing you see is a black man. Okay. That is Ursa Ma'at-Ra, Septepin-Ra, or Ramses II, they call it. Okay. Why is that important? Because Ramses or Ursa Ma'at-Ra, we know him, the Nasut is the pinnacle of personal development. He was trained, in personal development from his life growing up as a child all the way into the military leader that he was. Okay. Ursa Ma'at-Ra had 17 military campaigns and was never defeated. Okay. The question is, how did he do that? That's what I wanted to know. So the first key is knowing self. On the pillars, you will see it says, know thyself and you will know the nectar. This is on the columns, and of course they call it these, it's called the wasat. But that's what you see. That's the first thing, that's the first key, is knowing self. Absolutely. Now let me help you to understand what I mean by knowing self. Knowing self is not about your name. I'm not talking about your family. I'm not talking about, certain things that we've come to understand. The question is, who is this person you see in the mirror? Okay, that's the question. because you were born with a purpose. Your purpose is to solve a problem that someone else has that only you can solve. This is the teaching of ancient Africa. Okay. You probably run into people, right, who is changing their major at colleges like 3 times. Right? I'm going to go to this major. No, you already know what you're supposed to do before you get there. It's already in you. Your blueprint is already there. You just have to know how to read it. You ever try reading something in another language, can't figure out how to put it together?
Yep.
This is Chinese. I don't understand what this is.
Yep.
That's confusion. That's not us. Knowing yourself means you already have an internal blueprint that the Netaru has given you. That's your life's purpose, your job, what you're made to do. Now, you will have other experiences in life, but you won't be confused about who that person is that you see in the mirror. The term reflect means a verb. The unk means living, means that's an active thing to do. You're living in purpose. You're living exactly what you're supposed to be doing every day. Now, you may go to school, you may get training and other things, but you're always in your purpose.
Aligned. Yep.
Right? 100%. And when you are, you're not confused about who you are. Okay? You're not confused about what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, I shared this in my book about how important this is. Okay, that's the first thing that we need to know.
Okay, know thyself.
Okay? Then it's other things. Yes, a lot of people don't know that. So what I'm sharing is, once you begin to know yourself, you're not going to have anyone else trying to tell you who you think you are. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? No, I just want to add to this, family. So it's so interesting, and I bet you picking up on this too, Hassan, is that every single person that comes that we interview, this is like the beginning of everything, is knowing thyself, right? You know, we had the coach Val J. She said the first part is self-identity. Professor Small talks about identity. Like, you know, if this is the first piece, once you know who you are, you're clear. Everything else is easy at that point. You know how to maneuver because you're sitting grounded within yourself. So okay, all right.
Once you know yourself, the noise is no longer noise.
Absolutely.
Exactly. You ever see those pictures where a little kitten is in the mirror and then he looks and he sees a lion?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is the know thyself part that I'm talking about. Okay. This is something you are to become. You see that imagery when you go right to that mirror. It's always talking about the becoming part. It's all the manifesting part. This is what I'm talking about, the knowing self. That's what I'm referring to when I say that.
Yeah.
When did you come to know yourself? When do you think?
Well,
your purpose.
When I was a little boy. Yeah, when I was a little boy, I was teased a lot as a kid, right? And so one of the teasing, I say, things that they used to do is, I have it in my book, so you can read it. You talk too much. You know, the talking thing. You always want to talk. And so my uncle, I had a name for me. He said, I got a name for you, nephew. I said, what is that name, Uncle? I'm going to call you Motor Mouth.
Yeah, let me tell you. You know what, Tina?
Motor Mouth. It's in my book, okay? But I put it in the book because that's a very valuable lesson. When people tease you and make you feel bad, that's because they are sharing your purpose that's within you. They just don't know it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Yes.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that? Two things. One, I think that a lot of times, like with Black folks, we're walking around and everyone else can see the greatness, right? They can see, and that's why they have to try to destroy it, because to them, they're looking at the lion in the mirror. Even though you're looking at a kitten, you don't see the lion, but everyone else sees the lion. And I'm laughing because it's motor mouth, and I think about my yearbook in the 1900s when I when I graduated from high school. I think almost everybody, and my father used to call me motor mouth. He's like, "I'll come over with your little motor mouth," and I was like, this just became a thing, and so I haven't heard motor mouth in so long. And you're talking about this, but go ahead and look at us. We're both right now talking to each other, and being motor mouths. All right, so go ahead.
Well, I mean, when I got older, he was proud of me because now I made money doing it, right? So before I'm just running around the house talking, right? But now he says, okay, now you're making money doing it, because I didn't know, but you're already made to be a teacher, a coach, a mentor. You use your mouthpiece, right? These things that I didn't realize. But as a kid, I'm just doing what I do, right? And you're being teased and you feel bad and stuff. And I want people to understand this. The joking part of it was something that later on in life I embraced, because I realized as time went on, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You are a communicator, and you have to use your mouth to do it. Of course, we have to be trained to use it, but it's always been there. Okay? Another kid, it could be right, another gift that somebody recognizes. You see a child, he's able to run fast, right? He could be a track star, a football player, right? They're very athletic, right? They have certain type of talents that's already in them already from at birth. It's just that, right, someone else sees that, right? They may tease them, may make them feel better about themselves and low self-esteem and all those other things. But those are empowering tools, because now I know what you're teasing me about, that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
So the first one is know thyself.
Know thyself.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it is.
All right. And so now, next one.
Go ahead. So the next one, okay. So the next one is all about the mind. It's all about problem solving. So your mind is about problem solving. It's always been about that. And what I'm referring to problem solving is, we look at the brain as being the problem solving, but it's all about the thinking process. It's how we think. It's how we process things. We process by what we speak, and we use our mind to solve these problems. So for me, studying, and then I would speak these words into being. Have you ever, for an example, encouraged yourself? I can do this. I got this, right? So your mind is doing this problem solving for you by helping you to understand, right? You are what you speak, right? If you believe it, you can achieve it. This type of thing. This is where the problem solving mentally comes in. But again, this is the mind and teaching of a great warrior, like in the suits. Okay. All these keys I'm describing are all of the basic fundamentals. Okay. If this is a problem solving thing you did, I want to know how to be able to do that so I can solve my problem. Okay. And in this case, for me, it's in law enforcement, security type things, because that was the new suit when he would go out to battle. Just think, you have 17 military campaigns and was never defeated. Just think, you had the largest chariot war, right, in the 19th dynasty during his time. But he got into a situation. He got into a situation because he was being overran. First of all, Ramses II, and his Ra division left him. Okay. During this battle, he calls out to Amun, and what he would say is the first known prayer of the 19th dynasty of Kemet. when he calls out to Amma and he speaks the words. This is exactly what empowers him to continue on and win that battle.
Mm.
Okay. He speaks to Amma and explaining who he is and himself. This is how he encouraged himself in this heat of battle. Remember now, I talk about people who encourage themselves by the words they speak. This is how you solve problems with your mind.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what he did. So I share that also in the book too as well.
Okay.
So where did you get the information for Ursa Ma'at Satep Ra?
Okay, well, glad you asked that question. My library is full, but this is one of my favorite books.
I can't see it. What's it?
Can you see it?
Not too good. What
It
is it?
It says ancient Egyptian warfare. Okay. And this book was written by Ian Shaw. Ian Shaw has lots of books, but I have a lot of books based on history, military warfare, military campaigns, all those type of things, weapons, tactics, strategies, all the stuff that we did. Why do I do this? I'm not sure if we may not realize, but law enforcement, like Felicia mentioned earlier, is what is used on the battlefield of the streets today. The New York Police Department has one of the largest SWAT teams, right, in the United States.
Yeah.
They use it too. Okay, so they utilize these tactics, and of course, you're defeated because they will be undefeated. Okay, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, the same things that I'm talking about is the same things that they use. Okay, I was in Pennsylvania just a few weeks ago, maybe about a month or so. Well, about a month. I trained with 18 police officers from different agencies. All of them have my book.
Wow.
And they know it too. And they say, this is exactly what we need. Anything to make them better, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And this is right. And this is a key to that. They know how important these keys are. The director of training says we will be implementing your keys in our training. So good for him.
Nice.
Good for him.
Nice. Okay, so we got know thyself, and we got problem solving.
Yep. What's the next one?
3.
So next one we always talk about. Okay, so there might not you have them there in a specific order. I have to put it down so I can kind of help you with this. So as I'm going through this, so my next one is always about the attitude. Attitude will keep your job. Attitude will get you fired from your job too. You do know this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it does. Attitude is everything, right? It's always not what you say, it's the way you say it and all this kind of stuff. It does. Attitude, right?
Getting feedback.
It's everything, right? So why am I talking about attitude? It's because attitude is always about how do you solve problems. I'm a supervisor where I work. When I come in, my attitude has to be, I am here because I'm a team player.
Yeah.
What if you're selfish? What if you, right, are all about you and not helping or assisting anyone else? HAPI is very good about team building. That's the attitude. We must have the attitude of team building. Otherwise, we do understand that may be very difficult by ourselves. I have an acronym. We talk about the word team. Together, everyone achieves more, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. But here's mine. Together, everyone achieves more than anyone by themselves.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Right? You can't do anything by yourself. Being a team is important, and that's an attitude. We must have the attitude as far as learning that I am here to solve a problem. Problems don't solve themselves. As I mentioned in the beginning of our conversation, you are created purposefully, put on this planet to solve problems. And you do that with your attitude. Okay?
Yeah. Attitude can make or break you.
Attitude, right? Attitude is what keeps people poor.
Mm.
Attitude.
So when you said that you were training certain police academies, did you say academies or?
Yeah, so I went to Oakdale, Pennsylvania, and we trained in what is called less lethal technology. And my book was introduced. Yeah, my book was introduced to these 18 different law enforcement officers. I mean, it might have been 5 or 6 different agencies that was there. There was a lot of officers, and so
and how was, because we're talking about attitudes? How were the attitudes?
The attitudes were very welcoming. There was 2 brothers there, but everybody in totality understood one thing: law enforcement has to solve problems. And that's exactly how they think. And when I went there, I had a blast. I loved it. It was a great time.
Got it. Okay. I asked that because, sometimes, because, historically we've been having, differences with, police departments, right? As far as people of color. So that's why I asked, as far as, how did they receive it pertaining to their attitudes?
Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to share on this show. Encountering law enforcement, getting pulled over, okay, it's never really a good experience for us. We know this. But what I'm sharing is, when you're on a traffic stop, you don't argue with a police officer on a traffic stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That is not the place to be arguing with a police officer.
Yeah.
Okay. When you are a person that has a good attitude, 9 times out of 10, you won't get a ticket because of your attitude. But if you push buttons based on your attitude, yes, you will be receiving several citations. Okay, just
or
so you
death.
understand.
Or death. Let's just keep it real.
Okay, right, but right, because what people don't understand, is it's already a bad situation for police officers. Period. They don't know that person they're pulling over is going to hurt them. They have no idea about what's going to happen to them when they pull that person over. They have no idea about who they're dealing with right behind the wheel. But for us, the first thing we want to do is to show attitude, as far as we could be wrong, we could be right, but it's how we share our attitude with them as far as communication to them. Yes, sir, I did this, or no, sir, I did not do that. But arguing, debating, attitude, all these things, already escalates the situation. We are there to de-escalate, not escalate.
Yeah. And a lot of times I think that we have to be, as Black folks, we have to understand that, that there is some inferiority that perhaps white people feel when they pull us over, and we have to know that because then that, then that dictates how we're gonna, behave.
Yes. And what I want to share with you is, I know a lot of sisters and brothers in blue. I know a lot of sisters and brothers who are chiefs of police, lieutenants, captains, sergeants. I know a lot of brothers and sisters who wear the blue, and they say the same thing. Okay. They don't know who they're pulling over, but okay. Could it be difficult? It could be. Right. Let me give you an example. I mean, I was coming home, I got pulled over, and I was in uniform, right? But the police officer said, hey, he talked to me about something about a tinted license plate. It was something very minor, right? But of course, I don't have any tinted plates. So what I said was, I think there might be some mistake. When I got out, I looked at it, I said, oh, it's dirty. So it may look, okay, it's dirty. Okay. So After talking to him, I did not receive a ticket. I did not, have any problems. Everybody's standing around finding out, oh, this is going to be good. I know he's going to get out of pocket. I know something to go on. There's going to be an argument, right?
Yeah.
None of those things, right? What I'm sharing with you is that the importance of attitude is key in solving problems. This is what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Right. And so, yeah, I'm not saying things don't go wrong, but it's how we handle them in the wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, listen, I think I can literally say this with all certainty. Every Black person who has kids, who has had this conversation with their kids of when you get stopped by the police, this is how you should behave and what you should say. I'm pretty sure everyone's had that conversation. And so, it's really about, like, when I hear you, talking about, your attitude, and also, it's like, it's your attitude and knowing how to, check your emotions, and stay at a level where, so you can just, drive away, like literally. So,
well, here's the thing, though. I mean, I worked in law enforcement and wore the badge.
Mm-hmm.
I was a police officer. I understand. But, think about ancient Kemet. Do you think that people want to get talked to by the Medjay? I don't think so. You stole that. Give me that. You took that orange. Did you steal that orange? No, sir, I did not steal that orange. Come here. I want to talk to you. Okay. The Medjay were not friendly people like we think they were. They were there to do a job, and sometimes talking to people, right? It was always sometimes the negative end. I got pictures of them disciplining people. Okay. This is law enforcement in ancient Kemet, where there's nothing but us around. Okay. And it's still discipline. It's still, the enforcement I'm describing. But attitude, can make a person or break a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really important. I talk to my kids about attitude all the time.
Yeah.
So basically, it's attitude on both sides.
It is attitude on both sides. There's no question about it, right? But remember, I talked about personal development being the soil.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to plant good seeds.
Yeah.
We don't want weeds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just trying to say that.
Yep.
They may. Okay. I'm not saying they're not important, but they don't taste very good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So, family, wait, we're getting ready to go on to number 4. But before we hit number 4 with Saba, listen, family, I need for everyone to like and share and comment on this video. Okay. Like, share, and comment on this video. And also, thank you so much, Micah and Lloyd, for the HAPI Cash App love. Thank you, family. Listen, everything that you see right now is all being funded by you guys. When you're donating, your monies go right back into what we're doing. And like I said, we have some huge, big announcements that we will be, letting everybody know about come January. So, family, please, help us to continue the circle of money, staying within Black folks, and also with our institution building. So, yeah, thank you so much for the Cash App. And you can always hit us up on PayPal. And I think if you're on YouTube, you can do the super chat. So thank you, fam. All right, go ahead. Number 4, Teanis.
So number 4 is fear. That's like a pure indicators. And so fear, I utilize in my acronym, and that's feelings enable an active response. And so fear is really very, very important. Why we do something, why we don't do something, why we fail to do something is all based on fear. Fear is really, really important. Really important. How I talk about this from ancient Kemet perspective is military people were trained at how to manage fear. Now, let me help people to understand what I'm trying to say. Fear is not bad. You're supposed to have it. It's a hardwired system within the human DNA. You're supposed to have this fear. Fear will help you save your life.
Yeah.
Okay. So I study fear by understanding nature. How does animals know when danger is near? Because of the fear response. They do. They know before they know. Okay? That's how this helps you. Now, unmanaged fear would do lots of damage. So why did you shoot that person? Because I thought, or I fear for my life. You hear those words.
Yeah.
This is unmanaged fear. In ancient Kemet, we have what is called ma'at. When you are in ma'at, you have balanced fear. Managed fear. So you know exactly what to do even under pressure. Okay. Felicia, you are in the military, I believe. Is that correct?
Yep. Air Force.
Okay. Air Force. Okay. So in the Air Force, I studied the Air Force Special Operations. Okay. The PJs. Okay. Yeah. Talk about jumping out of airplanes. Okay. That right there is a lot of fear. Okay. But they have controlled, managed fear. They understand. And as a result of that, the Air Force, everybody understands, Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, they understand managed fear is what makes them the people that they are in special operations. Okay. In the case of ancient Kemet, managed fear is what makes you a Medjay warrior. It's what makes you right in the same area or category with the Nasut. As children, they learn this. They go to what is called Kom Umbo, and these priests understand this fear training. They take them through this tunnel. They understand where the basin is. There's crocodiles and other lizards in this water, but they help them to understand how to manage this fear even in the sense of danger, because you are the line that's needed, the line of defense. And you must learn how to manage this fear. And in this training, I talk a lot about that because that's true. You must do this. Otherwise, there would be problems. Problems where people actually can get killed or other things like that. So, fear is important.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you do something that you're afraid to do, on the when you're just talking to, because sometimes we fear a lot of things, right?
Yep.
And sometimes the fear is not, I'm not going to say that it's not, you don't feel fear, because different things make other people feel, fear is like independent. It's an independent thought of most people. So like there's certain things that people are afraid of that I'm not, but like you show me like a tarantula, any type of little snake, I'm very
Right.
afraid of these things, right?
Yeah.
But like jump out of the airplane, like that stuff doesn't fear me. But that right there, the little snake, oh no, you lose me with that. But
and most of that is because of what we don't understand.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that kind of, we fear what we don't understand. That's really truly the key to that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
See, I love bugs. I'm a bug person. I like bugs and spiders and all that. So I'm a nature person. So it doesn't,
See, no. I'm a nature person too, but I don't need a tarantula like on my back or something, or a snake like in my sleeping bag for me to be like no. Yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
But okay. All right. So we got fear. So being able to manage fear is one of the keys. Okay, that's a good one. Good one.
That number 6 is grit. Now, grit is very important. You probably know.
Wait, we up to 6 or 5?
Wait, we missed one. We missed number 5.
You missed number 5? No, we did. Okay, number 5. Yeah, number 5 is grit. That's the grit word. Do you see that? It's grit. Oh, you don't see it. You don't have the book. So it's yeah. So I in my life, grit to me means that you're at the ground level of getting dirty for anything to be successful. You understand that everything you do takes work. I mean, you travel to Kemet all the time. It takes work, right? Unifying people takes work.
Yeah.
right? Everybody sees the front part of it. Look at the pretty pictures, right? Look at all the happy. Yeah. What about all the background stuff you don't see?
Yeah.
That's where all the grit is. And in my book, the U.S. Navy SEAL Jake Swig talks about grit. And he says people don't make it through SEAL training. Excuse me, is because they can't endure pain.
Mm.
They can't endure pain. And he says that grit is the key to what makes Navy SEALs.
Mm.
Mm.
Grit is what makes a PJ. Grit is what makes an Army Ranger. When you can go above and beyond and endure and persevere, it takes lots of grit.
Yeah.
Okay, so my acronym for that is grind, resilience, and the toughness. That's what that means.
Mm.
You must grind,
Yeah.
right? If you are a grinder, you are a worker. You ever see the bees making a honeycomb, making a honey? They do lots of work, worker bees,
Yeah.
right? They work. Ain't nobody get no rest until that's done. It's serious. It's serious. It's serious focus and serious commitment. So I learned this grit concept from Jake Swig, who is a Navy SEAL, and he makes SEALs. He's a maker of SEALs, a maker of Rangers. He makes people and put them in special operations, and he tells them that grit is going to be the key to your success.
Mm. Yeah. You know, I'm just thinking everything that you're saying, I'm thinking about kids like in school and how for some schools that seems to be one of their like philosophies in terms of helping kids to develop grit, you know, to just being able to go after what they want in a systematic way and not be afraid of working. Yeah.
Absolutely. Before you go to military, before you go to special operations, why don't you get a roofing job? Work construction.
Yeah.
That's work.
Yeah.
Okay. I work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, moving furniture all day.
Mm.
That's work. That's grit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So when you're doing work like that all day, 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, you'll understand one thing for sure. When you can do that, you can do almost anything.
Yeah.
Okay. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So grit to me means a lot. If you're not willing to work for what you're going to eat, then guess what? A man that he doesn't work, he doesn't eat.
Mm. Yeah.
Right? I'm real serious about that. The new suit was serious about that too. Okay. We're going to battle, guys, but we got to walk 20 miles to get there.
Mm.
Be ready. Because them feet, they're going to be hurting. You're going to be on your feet for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is real serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and also as you said, I was thinking about, I was, for some reason I was thinking about art and music, and you think about like some of the people that we love, like that we're like, their music has some good music. It's because they were literally making songs, making music almost 24 hours a day. A lot of people like will comment about like Michael Jackson or Prince's or Beyonce's work ethic, but they're about their business, and we can tell because we can look at the body of their music, and of course we look at them, oh, they look so nice, blah 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 blah, but it's just exactly what you're saying in terms of putting in that work.
And
absolutely.
Listen, even before they put in the work, sometimes with a lot of the artists, they actually go through certain traumas and deep challenges and stuff before they even put pen to paper. So that's part of the great.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, I worked in security. I worked in law enforcement. I was outside where there's snow and ice. I could be out there all day.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody, you won't see none of us out there being out there in that frozen ice and snow all day.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
So it's something, so the grit, like when you're describing grit to me, it's like, yes, it can be physically challenging, like what you're saying, or just anything that you're, that you're trying to get done. But I think it's the the having a goal of like you're doing this for something. Because there's some people who work and they don't really have, they're just working because this is the only job they have, and they're not really aspiring to kind of do anything else other than just their job. But like when grit is like, you know, you're like, okay, I'm working like this because I know I need to do this to get to here. You know what I'm saying? And you want this. So you're like, whatever you got to do with it that maintains your integrity. You know, that goes back to your first one, your first key of knowing yourself, you know, like doing whatever you have to do to get to this next level is the grit part, because not everybody's, you know, they're not willing to do all the things you need to get there, you know? Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you go to ancient Kemet, look at all of the magnificent work we've done. Look at the Maricopa that we've built.
Yeah.
The carvings on the walls and the writing. I mean, you know how much work that takes? It is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable amount of work, right? If anybody know about grit, we do.
Absolutely.
Right. So, right. So, I mean, right. I mean, it's magnificent what we have created, right? It's pretty. Yes. It was pretty hard too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure was.
I mean, just
Magic moving stones. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, just getting through the My Alpha, that was work.
See what I mean? You know, yeah, you're thinking about, you know, all the different things that we see and we're taking pictures of things. And I agree with that. But what I'm looking at is the work.
Yeah.
What type of mind did a person have to sit there and carve that into stone?
Yeah.
See, that's serious grit right there. You out there in the sun all day long.
Yeah. And, you know, it's interesting because, you know, it's not like you were just born and you're like, okay, this is what you're going to do. There was levels to this game. You know what I'm saying? Like you just didn't get to come out and just straight start, you know, being in a temple and carving. Like you had to have grit. You had to do all the steps to get there, the process of getting there. So yeah.
Yes.
Good one.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Number 6.
Communicate. That's the connector. Communicate. I mean, really, did you communicate that? No. Well, maybe that's why this did not get done. Did that happen in ancient Kemet? Communication is real serious in ancient Kemet. Real serious. That's a mandatory. That's a lifeline. But everything in life communicates. The nature communicates. Water communicates. The birds communicate. Everything around you in nature communicates. We just don't spend any time to understand how important that is. I had a dog. I loved him. He was a great dog. We had him for 10.5 years. He was a Weimaraner. And Weimaraners are like the gray ghosts. They're kind of like hunting dogs. You talk about hunting and all that. But he doesn't say a word, but you read his face, you read his body language, you know he's communicating, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Animals are excellent communicators. Why are we not communicators like them? Why have we not learned from that? Okay, the Kepler bug, the dung beetle, is an excellent communicator. Okay, so what I'm sharing with you is that this is the keys that we should really grasp and understand. Now, I know this may be a little different for some, but I mentioned earlier about I like nature, so I was studying how a spider spins its web. And I've seen a perfect orb weaver do a 360-degree all the way around a complete perfect circle. The perfection was beautiful. But did you know that a spider can tell from the web the difference between a mate and food?
What do you mean?
But what's on the web? That's how important it is. The web communicates everything. Okay, so this is nature. Okay, so when I'm watching this and understanding this more, it's outstanding. It's beautiful to see that, right? But we need to know how to communicate, right? Language. You know, we both speak English, but we still get confused about the words we speak to each other. What did you mean by this when you said that?
Yeah.
Right? We have a serious communication gap because of language. Language is key. That's what the Middle Nature talks about. No one was confused in ancient Kemet about the Medu Neter. They weren't confused about what meant what, because everything that we wrote communicated and we all understood that.
Yeah.
Very, very important. Yes.
Yeah, they left really good details, in terms of communication. They left very good details of everything that was happening.
Well, yeah, because if like the B word, for an example, the B for like a bee or a bug or a bird, but the letter B can mean anything, but not in ancient Kemet, though. It was very specific. You knew a hawk vulture from an owl, a falcon from a hawk. You understood these birds because it was very specific because of how it communicated to you.
Yeah. They all
Okay.
mean very different things.
Very different things. And so what I'm sharing is that we need to get better at that. Okay, because this is our history. Okay, this is what the Ankh talks about. This is what this is all about. When you understand that, then you become more like this. You become more like Ma'at. Why? Because Ma'at balances all nature. It balances communication. It balances everything. Okay, that's the important part of this.
Yeah.
This is what made the Nisut the person that he was, because he was the master of that.
Yeah. And they had to have had great communication, because some of their structures took generations to build.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always wondered about that. I'm just like, how, they had to leave good notes. Like it's like but I also feel like they had, it was a universal idea that everyone bought into, and it was taught all the time to everyone, to kids. And so you kind of grow up with, this is the goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what like they were able to sustain that for thousands of years.
Well, I mean, yeah. So we had different levels of communication for the Medu Neter. Okay. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So if I'm an MB and I'm doing law enforcement, for an example, I study law, right? You are the badge and gun guy. I don't do electric work.
Yeah.
There's a different language for electric work than it is for law enforcement. Okay. There's a different language for being a judge, right? Or a person, right, who's a cook making food.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Medu Neter had different, everybody did not speak the same, because every single profession had a different language to it. In other words, in the Medu Neter, they're talking that language. If you are a carver, you are a carver. You're not a priest.
Yeah.
Did that make sense? So,
Absolutely.
you're right. So when I studied the Medu Neter, I studied the Medu Neter for law enforcement, for security purposes. I'm not a priest. I'm not, a person in the medical field. I studied to do protection and other things. And the Medu Neter that's designed for that is where my strength is.
Got it.
Because that's exactly what I'm designed to do.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. So we at 7. We made it to 7.
And 7 is, persevere. So persevere. We got an idea about persevering, but I believe in not quitting. I'm just that person, whatever it takes kind of attitude that I have. I'll share a quick story. My daughter's going to probably get me for this, but she went somewhere with a friend, and she left, and she was by herself, and she was at a I'm not sure, it's like a on-the-job training type program. I just want to call it that. And so he was having a hard time. Dad, they're making fun of me. I'm having a hard time. I don't like this place. I'm going to leave. That's what she said, right? Just because, right, the pressure was on. And she called me up on the phone, and I said, no, you're not leaving. If they fire you, you have to leave. But if you quit, then you're leaving on your own. And I said, you're a Tillman, you're not a quitter. And if you quit, don't call me because I'm not going to come rescue you.
Mm.
Okay? So I taught her from a young age about quitting is not an option. And she carries that to this very day.
That's what's up.
So that's what it means to persevere, to adapt and overcome to those type of things, right? Whether it's small or whether it's big to us, this is what the Nasut did in battle. He didn't leave. Okay? He could have left the battlefield, but you know, everybody looks to me. I am the example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? He said, the only way I'm going to be leaving is you're going to be carrying my body out of here.
Yeah.
Some of us just don't have that type of mindset. I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying some. Because I'm saying quitting, things get tough. I don't like this anymore, I'm leaving. What's wrong? I don't like this job. I don't like this relationship. I don't like this city. I don't like when things get tough, people want to quit.
Yeah.
Okay. Instead of understanding it, enduring it, adapting and overcoming means a person who's willing to persevere. So,
and, you know, oh, go ahead.
No, you go right ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to add, you know, so sometimes persevering means pivoting in a different way, you know, because sometimes, you know, we may not be able to do it this way, but if we kind of change it this way, we could do it. Or maybe we change our perception about something so that we can get through it, you know. So sometimes it's not all, you know, I like the idea of you're going to keep going. And if you got to move, if you got to stop for a minute and then collect yourself and keep going, but you are still heading towards, you know, the goal.
Yeah, and that's the adapting and overcoming thing. Remember I talked about that. The adapting that you're referring to is the changing position you talked about. Yes, this is true. Right? And for me, I'm all about if I got to get something some kind of way. So what I mean is I may have to work extra hours. I may have to get a different job. I may have to relocate. But you're still in your purpose. So you may have to adapt and overcome to some situation because the type of environment that you're in is not giving you what you need.
Yeah.
So you may have to reposition, like you just mentioned, but that's what it's all about. That's what the Nasu had to do, right? Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's all about what you just described, but the idea is, how am I going to win?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. I hate losing.
Well, you know what? It actually goes back to your first key, which is knowing yourself.
Well,
because
yes.
You're clear about, like, you know, if you're aligned with your purpose and aligned with God or aligned with the divine or whatever we, you know, people want to say, or the light or divine with nature, then you understand that, okay, this is my goal and I'm going to try to do it this way, but I may have to shift. I may have to move to the side. You know, I may have to stop for a minute and just kind of collect myself. I think about so many times where I've kind of wanted something, but then at that moment, it's just like getting it, you know, there was just way too many obstacles. And so because, you know, I started to get more aligned with, you know, with myself, I understood that, okay, these obstacles are here because I need to just kind of take a step back and redo some things. And then, you know, when I would do that, and then, you know, some time would go by, then I would start back trying to do whatever the goal was, then I was able to keep moving. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes, you know, it's just not giving up, you know, just not giving up.
For me, I'm okay with no, but I'm not okay with quitting.
Yeah.
If you tell me no, I can accept the answer no, because it could be no. And if you tell me no, I'm like, okay, that's fine if it's no. But for me to quit something, I'm like, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Okay, that one right there, I'm not doing that. So again, that's I like the way Mike Tyson thinks about his fights, his training, right? These are all examples of persevering and stuff like that, not quitting and things of that nature. Where things get hard, when it gets tough, when you feel like, oh man, I'm just about out of breath. Okay. That's what I'm talking about when you're in that most uncomfortable moment. Everybody can do things fresh. It's when
Yeah.
you're tired. It's
Yeah.
when you're exhausted, right? At that moment, how do you feel? Right? When it hurts. Remember I talked to you about working 12 hours a day, 6
Mhm.
Yeah.
days a week? My body hurt every day.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay. But the goal is to do what? Put food on the table, take care of my children, right? Pay my rent, right? It was bigger than me.
Yeah.
That's why I was able to persevere through that.
Mm. I like that.
When you
Bigger.
right, when you see something bigger than you, you're willing to do it, right? I'm willing to do this for you, for the team, for us. There is
Yeah.
no me, it's us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Okay. I like these. I like these. Tina. That's what's up. Yeah. And they
Thank you.
all, yeah, they all work together. And and so we had titled the show "Built to Thrive," and this is exactly what we're talking about, because I think we need to shift from survival move, a survival mentality, to more of a thriving, and this gives us a nice foundation to do
It
that.
is. Absolutely. And as I mentioned earlier, I know I said this, in the beginning of the conversation, but studying the greatest warriors on the battlefield, Shaka Zulu, the greatest warriors that have done things this way.
Yeah.
This is our way of doing things. Okay. So when a great warrior does it that way and win, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what's up. So
Okay.
Tina, tell us what you're doing here.
So I'm training at a facility, and we're doing some knife defenses. And so what I was sharing with this particular person I was training with is I was helping them to understand how to. Remember, you talked about adapting and changing. Okay, this is exactly what I did. So what I did was show him this is the area to be always striking, where we're striking. This is what is called our tactical battlefield training called Pan-Karashin. So Pan-Karashin is actually an ancient Tibetic term meaning total combat.
Mhm.
Mm,
That's what it means. And so I'm showing that here in this picture.
okay. So family, this is, listen, if Tina, at the beginning of this session off screen, Tina's had to brag that he was in what would you say, in 70-degree weather, because he's on from the great state of Texas in Dallas,
Mhm.
um and we're freezing up here in, in New York. um but yeah, you can, if you want to train with Tinas, and you happen to be in Texas, this is the man right here. Let me put back up the his website. And also, when you go to his website, you can this is what this is. Okay, I'm sorry. You can also buy his book, because the book is nice. Yeah. Yeah.
So what's your suggestion on self-defense as far as um like the average altercation that most people get into? What's physical self-defense do you think a individual would need?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So there's a lot of different things that people are doing now today, all self-defense related and stuff like that.
Mhm.
The problem is that they don't realize that all self-defense type training, you should have a use of force concept connected to it. Because what a lot of people don't know is, even though you are practicing self-defense, or you're carrying a firearm, or any of these other things, you're still held responsible for your actions. This is what the law says in the courts. So even though you're practicing self-defense, you need to
Yeah.
be able to articulate this self-defense. Okay. So to answer your question, there's a lot of uh, types of schools that teach basic self-defense. I always go to the basics. but make sure the one you go to is helping you to understand that there's a use of force concept connected to it. So if you get, into a situation where you have to talk to someone like a detective, right, a prosecutor of some kind, and what you've done, you're able to articulate my self-defense actions. In other words, knowing what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So in New York, they do have some schools like that. So a basic self-defense class, they're all different types of names. I really don't want to share no names here on the show, but they're all different types of names that they have that you can do for those type of basic courses. They do offer them.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So, fam, you can actually reach out to Teanis through his website if you have some specific questions about some of these classes that he's talking about. So that you can get the skinny and figure it out. Yeah. I'm a proponent of this right here. Yeah. I mean, I think that we should know how to take care of ourselves. I remember somebody tried to get me in New York, and I had to do some of these moves. But my move didn't look like this, but it was something like that. I had been studying martial arts for 10 years, so I listen, everybody needs to know how to throw some stuff around.
Yes.
So in ancient Kemet, and you probably heard Infudishi say this, I used his name a couple of times. Love the brother, man. So he's awesome. But what I mean is that in his conversations, he talked about the Mantu arts. He talked a lot about that. And Mantu arts is what we learned in ancient Kemet. Okay. And that was the self-defense stuff that you see and all those different types of things. The self-defense back then was it's all on the walls. So all the karate and kung fu and all the rest of things that you see come from ancient Kemet. We are the very ground of all arts. The very foundation of every other martial art that you will see, and people do wrestling, grappling, stick fighting, all those different types of things come from there.
Yeah.
And here you see me strike the bag with a baton. Stick fighting was one of our high level of the day skills. We loved our sticks. We call them batons today. We use ones that look like metal, feel like metal. They're called ass batons, expendable batons. Law enforcement use them all the time. Yes. So I love that.
And what arts are you trained in?
So I trained of course, in the beginning, I started out in the Wing Chun. I started out in the Asian Chinese arts. I started out in Hung Gar, and then I went to Kippo Goju Karate. I learned a lot of different arts throughout my years. But I wanted something that was like us. I did not know until later in life that we actually had that until after I graduated from high school. I was in wrestling for JV, varsity, and varsity wrestling for those 4 years. I did a lot of wrestling. So when I learned that this wrestling actually came from us, I go, well, nobody ever said that. But when, of course, when I ventured out and knew the foundation of this, that's how everything catapulted after that. Then I got into law enforcement, lots of law enforcement training. All the defensive tactics that they do is the same stuff. Okay, all the things that they have. I know it's new tools they have, but the purpose is the same. It's all coming from a foundational thing that has been around for thousands of years that we've always have known to do. And that is the Mantu arts. Martial arts is very different now. Of course, that's a different thing. People call it that. But martial arts means the arts of the Roman god Mars. That's where you get the term martial arts from. But Mars was not a good person. He did some things that was evil, and that became the birth of Rome, as you want to call it. But Mantu followed the ways of Ma'at. So this is what we strive to do. So all of our fighting, all of our use of force and our training, weaponry, all those things have this balance.
Got it. This was good. This was interesting. I didn't expect it to go this direction, but this was good. You gave a different perspective. I appreciate that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. The reason for writing the book is to help us to understand that these are principles that we can actually use like right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are right now principles. These are not, something that we can do down the line and we read it. We maybe do it, everything that I talked about. That's what we should be doing. That's what the suits did. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. That's what our warriors of old, the ancestors have done. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, I want to show. We were in Beni Hassan last year.
Mm-hmm.
We took a little side step after we came. We had a trip, and once everyone got back to Cairo, there was about 15 of us that decided that we were going to go on to Beni Hassan and see, some of these temples. And I wanted to show.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can. Hopefully the video works. But yeah, I'm going to show the wall. It's the wall that we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes.
Of all the movements,
yeah.
all combat movements.
Yes. So today we call it grappling, wrestling. We got different names for judo, jiu-jitsu, aikido. These are all names that, what you're talking about at the temple is the exact same thing, but just a different name.
Yeah.
Okay. The Asians call it these different names, but of course, this is all based from ancient Kemet. So when a person is saying, I'm studying karate, for an example, comes from ancient Kemet. We're talking about, okay, I'm studying judo, Kemet, jujitsu, Kemet. Okay.
Yeah.
That's different names. So let me just say this. Montu is a living archetype of the human psyche. He enforces laws, truths, and warfare. That's what Montu does. That's what the training system is all about. Okay, so when you're looking at this wall here, that's exactly what it is. So we don't need to go to anyone else. We already did this already and still doing it.
And not only did we already do it, but we got to let them know that this is 4,000 years ago.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's what Pankara Shin is. And I think if she shows another picture, the Greeks took this wrestling and they call it pancration. Okay. The Greeks took it back to Greece. That's what they call this.
Yeah. They
learned this from us and they created a systemized system of boxing and wrestling. But of course, again, that's what Pankara Shin is. It's not, they called it pancration afterwards. Then when Alexander the Great came, he took the arts to Asia. That's how you got the Great Temple and Kung Fu and all the rest of these things that we know of. Why am I sharing this? Is because all of this stuff that's in the book is the training principles that we utilize in all of our combat forms. Okay, this is exactly why we did what we did all the time. It's just that we are not aware of it. But when you start seeing certain things and certain similarities, you go, well, this is what we did in ancient Kemet, but they call it this.
Yeah.
They call it, it's our stuff. We need to appreciate it. That's what I'm saying. I love what we do. I love our stuff. I mean, it's just, it excites me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you, when I was there, I was like, wow, it's so amazing. And it's so well preserved, that temple. Like, it's off the beaten road. Not everybody goes. It was about 362 steps to get to the top.
Nice workout.
Yeah. And I was walking with, with the Infudishi who didn't stop. And, we're all like,
Lots of walking.
break and he's, Yeah, and now I'm gonna share this with you guys. Of actually when after Infudishi seen everything, and then he kind of did some little moves for us.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Very well done.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you know what, and this really goes back to, I mean, this is why we want to do this show, because this man is like 70. I think Infudishi was 77. This is like last year, so I feel like he was 77 because he'll be 78 in January. Yeah, so he had to be like 77 or maybe 76, but it doesn't matter. He was 70 something,
Yeah.
and so a lot of like what you're doing, it's helping us it's giving us a foundation so that we can, still be doing this at age 77 or 76. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We were incredibly in shape, right? At that age. Ursula Atra lived to be in his 90s.
Mm.
Okay. He reigned for 65 years. Okay. Imagine that. He was in incredibly good shape
Yeah.
at that age. Imagine that. Imagine going to battle, in your 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal, right? Okay, what are you doing? What type of foods are you eating? Right? What's going on here? Because that's incredible shape to be going to battle at this age in your life, and you're still doing these things.
Yeah.
Right? What am I saying about this is that we have a lot to learn yet still as far as implementing these things in our lives, but the foundation is where we need to start. That's the basis of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm definitely going to promote your book.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is it's yeah. Listen, family. We love supporting the family. We love when y'all come on and have books, something that we can click and like read. And the other piece I like is that it seems like it's very it's written for kids as well. So your kids can get something, like young adults, like they can get something out of this.
Absolutely. It's the eighth graders loved it. Right.
Mm.
Okay. So he took a key out of it, this school administrator, and taught about fear and how to overcome obstacles in their life and stuff like that. And these are all eighth graders.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So I mean, and I guess I want to reiterate, I know I said this earlier, but I just did not want another history book. I wanted something that to me personally, how I could really help someone.
Yeah.
And I guess for me, as much as I love everything that we do, I just wanted to come at it from a different angle as far as teaching and sharing, right? And let it be implemented so it works. And that's what I did. So for me, it's more of a teaching book or more of a principle book than a history book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about principles.
Perspective. Yeah, it's written from our perspective. We can see ourselves, which is
Absolutely.
important.
Yeah, I believe in principles. Principles work if you work them.
Yeah.
You can know a whole lot of stuff, but if you don't operate on principles, nothing works.
Yep. Very true.
So I'm a principle individual. I mean, right? I mean, I'm a boots on the ground kind of guy.
Yeah.
Right? I get suited and booted and go out there in the streets and solve them problems. Okay, so right, and you need these principles. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people may know a lot about history, but I can't sit there and talk to them about Ursula Atra after you just kick somebody's door in.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So we got an interesting question in the chat. And this is Darrell Taylor. I only know that because, yeah, there we go. That's only because it's in the email. So it says, so he's asking, if someone wanted to reinvent themselves using these principles mentioned, where would one start?
again, by looking at, I always talk about the mirror is the best place to start.
Mm.
The mirror. What do you see? What do you not want to see? What don't you like?
Yep.
Okay. What can you change?
Yeah.
It starts at looking at the mirror.
Mm.
The mirror tells us everything because it's us.
Yep.
We're talking about ourselves.
Yeah.
And when we do this, right, that starts the very beginning and foundation of what can I do better. I know a lot of people I have talked to, they're ashamed of themselves when they look in the mirror,
Mm.
right? I'm overweight. No one likes me.
Mm.
I hate myself, right? This all about reflection on how a person really sees themselves when they look in the mirror. Okay. This is, I'm talking about the good, the bad, the ugly shows you and who this person really is. And that's the mirror is what I'm sharing. So start by the mirror.
Yeah.
Right there is how everything begins.
Yeah. And you know what, Daryl, I would add to that because I think, people get paid to help you sit in front of a mirror and they call it mirror work. Okay. So usually you get this free here from HAPI Talks, but sitting in the mirror, but I also think asking the question to whoever you consider God, divine, or however your name for divine, and asking them to help you to not only have a clearer vision about who you are, but to help you with figuring out how to change who you are to be the person that you know that you were sent here to be. And sometimes we just have to ask the question, and then things start popping up in your life, where you're sitting at the bus stop and all of a sudden you meet somebody who's a nutritionist, and now because you were like, oh, I'm overweight, I don't even know where to start. And but once you put it out there and you identify, say, I need help with figuring out how do I lose weight or whatever, then things start popping up in your life to help you to get on the road of fixing it. And I also think sometimes as Black folks, when we look in the mirror, I don't know if it's human nature, but I really think it's more Black folks. Like, we look at things and we don't really see all the good in us, all the things that we are able to do. We're designed, it's a Western design to look in and see all the negative things, but that's not how we get down. And I think that, also when you're looking at all the things that are working in your life, because there's a lot of things, because you're still here, that are actually working in your life. So, that's my 2 cents. I know you got some 2 cents over there, Hassan.
Now I was looking at this, it was another, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was saying that you have some 2 cents.
Well, my 2 cents is always know thyself, because I think it was Professor Small. Yeah, it's Professor Small that always talks about looking in the mirror, like literally stand in the mirror naked and look at yourself, and not just the physical, but like, what don't you like about yourself? What do you think you can improve on? And I did that some years back. And, that's the hard truth, the harsh reality. And then at that point, you either take the steps to make some corrections, add on to what you feel you need to add on, move some things away, take some things away. But you got to look in that mirror. He's absolutely right. Knowing thyself is so, that's
critical.
That's why that's the first key.
Yes. God, you took that right. I was about to say that. I was like, that's why it's the first key. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to a young lady, and she was going to culinary school, right, to cook, this stuff. So we were talking. She was telling me about her goals, and then she said, this is what I'm going to do, and this is kind of what I'm doing. And I said, let me ask you a question. And I said, do you like to cook, or do you love to cook? Which one is it? And she asked me, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, do you look forward to waking up in the morning and seeing a big, huge right? A sink of dirty dishes and pots every day? Do you look forward to seeing lots of dirty dishes? He said, no. I said, what you love to do, you will wake up looking forward to that every day, because as a cook, that's exactly what you're going to experience. Liking something and loving something is different. I like ice cream, but I can't eat it every day,
Yeah.
right? But I love something, I get up and do it every day,
Yes, sir.
right? The old saying goes, there is dinner and dancing, but there's also daylight and dishes.
Hmm.
Okay, so you do know that there is work coming after that. So I asked her, and so of course, she said, nobody ever told me this before. Well, because loving something is a passion, it motivates you. You will love it. Everything you do that's been given to you, you love that. Right? Your gift, yeah, I love that. I love talking. I got to be quiet sometimes. My wife gets on me about this talking thing. While the movie's going, while we're watching our show. But I love what I do, and I'm very passionate about it. Why am I passionate about it? Because it's already embedded in you. As I mentioned, your blueprint of who this person is. When you look in the mirror, that's what you see. And I explained that to her. So loving this is that mirror thing. Loving this person. Do you love you? How can you say you love something or someone else if you don't love yourself first?
Oh yeah, that's not even possible. I hear,
Let's
oh, I
see.
love you. Yeah, but you don't even like yourself.
See?
you know.
Right? And I mean, right? And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not saying, yes, there's going to be a process of work we have to do to change. But the question is, are you willing
Yeah.
to change that person, to change that image, right? To change your perception, your way of thinking, and all those other things.
Yeah.
But it starts with that first thing.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Daryl, we don't even know Darrell. It's Darrell. It's not Daryl. I don't have my glasses on, Darrell. So we don't even know Darrell. But let me tell you, Darrell is ready because Darrell asked a question. Like people who are ready don't ask no questions. So shout out to Darrell. Like that's what's up. So look, Darrell, you need to get, I'm gonna tell you, there's two things you gotta do. Okay, Darrell, you have to get Teanis's book, okay, because that gives you a nice blueprint, right? And also, if you go to any of our HAPI Talks or our YouTube or our Facebook channel, look up Coach Val, and you need to subscribe to all her channels because she too can help you work through a process. And in the third person, there's three. So you're going to get Teanis's book. You're going to check out Coach Val J, any of her social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Just look up her name. And then you're going to also look up Dion Grayman. We did a HAPI Talks with her, and she also helps people with working through a process and getting to your higher self. So, that's what's up. So thank you, Darrell. Like, I love that. I love that. All right.
The toolbox.
Yeah. So do you have any closing words, Teanis, you want to leave us with?
I love what I do. I'm glad I'm here to talk about it and share. Right. It's just what I feel I was called to do. And this has to go out to, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but I'm walking, part of it is in the memory of my son. He was murdered some years ago. But, yeah. So, it's a very story that I had to deal with and overcome. And so that's kind of what this book also represents. So I had to deal with that, but I feel that sharing this legacy with him and his name and stuff like that, because I gave him my name because that was what his name was. And so that's kind of what's happening as far as keeping the legacy going and everything. Yes.
How you spring this on us at the end of the show, Teanis? Like,
because this is why I talk about these things are so important to me, is because I know what tragedy looks like.
Yeah.
I know what suffering looks like when a mother loses a child. Okay. I understand the process a person has to go through, and that's kind of what I'm sharing right now. So, yeah, it's real serious to me because it hits home personally. Okay. So my goal is to help people to understand that this is why I'm also here to do what I do, because I understand.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Family, make sure you support right here, streetdefenseresearch.com.
Mhm.
Okay. And you can read more about Teanis' story, but also, it makes this book land very differently because, a lot of times when people suffer through traumas, um,
Mhm.
it's beautiful when they can use their trauma to help others.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, this is my first book. I have 2 others I'm working on right now.
okay.
Yeah, so it's a 3-book series. So I have another one coming out next year.
Okay. That's what's up.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you, Teanis. That's what's up. I mean,
Thank
Saber.
you. Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure that was the grit part that you had to go through in order to write this book, because you went through that trauma.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's all about telling your story, and everybody has a story to share. And for me, I'm all about listening to stories,
Yeah.
what people share, right? What people go through. I know we talked a lot about the history and ancient Kim and how it works, but these people had a story to tell too.
Yeah.
The question is, what can we learn from it, and how can we use it to help, right? Lift us up, as she mentioned, right? Up to that next level, right? Of being that person that you should become. In this case, we're talking about the warrior culture, and this
Yeah.
is what we know to be and do. So, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, that's
thank
what's
you. We appreciate you sharing. We appreciate you sharing your time with us. We appreciate you writing this book.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, fam. So, Teanis, we're just going to put you to stay in the green room for a moment. We're just going to shut
Okay.
down the show and then just stay there so we can chat with you. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. Wow.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good show. Good
I
show.
wasn't I wasn't prepared for that one. I'm kind of glad that I wasn't prepared for it, because
Yeah.
I was really, really learning, step by
Yeah.
step learning.
Yeah. Yeah, I like those. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I know who I know 2 young people, well,
Mhm.
three young people I know that will be watching this show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're all related to me. um, yep. I tell
Yeah.
you, sometimes, we get these happy talks. I was like, no, you're gonna sit. I almost cussed. You're gonna sit down and watch this one. Like, it's really, important. I like it. It's the foundation. It's the foundation for you to
Yeah.
then, thrive, built
Yeah.
to thrive. Like, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Family, we want to again thank every single person who donated to the show. Like that,
Mhm.
this happy love goes a long way. So thank you so much. If you have not already, like, share, and comment, and also make sure you are signed up, like you're subscribed to us. We have a lot of, I'm telling you, that first show coming in January. I don't care what you're doing. You need to have your phone on watching Happy Talks because we got some little stuff we're gonna be saying, and we need for you guys to all be, tapped in. So if you don't get your notifications, because you're gonna feel away, I'm telling you, this is the show you want to watch live. Because if you don't watch it live, you're gonna be tight.
For
Okay.
sure. For sure.
Yeah. Yep. Got to watch it live. So make sure you are signed up to the newsletter, and you can go to Happy Film, hit stay connected, and make sure that you have your notifications button set. That's that little bell on YouTube. And I don't know if Facebook has notifications. Oh, no. Do they have Facebook?
I'm not
Oh,
sure. I'm new to Facebook, so
yeah, you know what? Thank you. Thank you. That's the last thing I need to add. Family. Hassan has gotten some social media. This brother had no social media up until he started working with us. So he has a Facebook page, and I think you had like four friends. We gotta get your friendship up. We gotta get your friends up, and 2 of them is myself and Taki. Okay.
Yeah.
So
In due time. It takes time. It's a process.
yes. So family, we need, if you are tuned into us, okay, we need for you to make sure you go to Hassan Williams, his page, and make sure you are subscribed to him as well. It's very important that we get his friends up. Okay. All right.
Thank you for that, Felicia. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah, but also our show coming up next week. We got a big show coming up next week by popular demand. A lot of people requested this gentleman, this scholar, to come back. They had more questions. They felt like, it wasn't enough, and it wasn't enough because it was on melanin, and melanin is such a complicated topic to talk about, because people have opinions, people have done their research. So, sometimes it gets a little conflicting. So we got brother Dr. T. Owens Moore coming back on, what's that, the 30th?
The 30th. Yep. Next Tuesday.
Yeah. So I look forward to that. Had a lot of people reach out saying they wanted the brother to come back. So that's how we're going to end the calendar year off.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So and as I always say, Brother Tillman, he gave us a great show. He gave us 7 keys, and we should take at least one of those keys and implement it. It's about simplicity. So let's start off simple. Pick one of the keys out of the 7. If you didn't write it down, well, you got to purchase the book anyway. Because he's going to go more in depth with it. He's going to go more in depth with it. But it's about application. We hear it, we got to apply it. All right.
Yeah. And I put the link to his book right in the chat. So if you're looking at us on our Facebook page or our YouTube page, you just hit the little button and go straight to a store. And he has other stuff if you're in Texas that you can also like book a session with him. But that book is right there, family. It's very important to support.
Yep. All right. On that note, peoples, we see y'all next week. Thank you for checking in. Stay happy.
Hey.
Peace. Economics and politics are the foundation of human development.
While forming the world's earliest civilizations, Africans also laid the groundwork for the creation of economic systems.
By learning from our history, we gain the strength to empower the present and design the future. Presenting the premier forum for truth, culture, and change. HAPI Talks. Join us as we unlock the secrets to our success.